Today we are going to be talking about the new Fenty Beauty Eaze Drop Blurring Skin Tint. Can we not just have a short name, please? That goes for all brands, not just Fenty. But like I did with my Huda stick foundation video, I did wear this for 3 days. I did like my first impression and then 2 separate days as well, just to see how it wears with different primers, different skincare, different things like that. So we're going to talk about some of the claims that this makes. Then we will jump into my wear test. And then we will talk about what I actually think. So if you want to see all of that, then please keep on watching. Okay, so I've got my daughter's tablet here because mine's dead. Anyway, so Eaze Drop Blurring Skin Tint. Let me just read off of my tablet here. So it says on Sephora's website that the highlights of this are it is a liquid formula, it's long wearing, natural finish, vegan, light coverage, and cruelty free. And then it says in the description, it is a lightweight, buildable, light to medium coverage skin tint that leaves skin looking blurred and smooth in flexible shades. Oh, I'm sitting really close to the camera. Flexible shades for all. Coverage is light, finish is natural, free of parabens and phthalates. It's also vegan, gluten-free, and cruelty-free. It says it's flexible. I'm not really sure what that means. I think that means that if you have it around areas of the face that move a lot, it's supposed to move with your skin. We'll talk about that later. And then it also says that it is humidity, sweat, and transfer resistant and has a smooth texture that layers well with primer and skin care. We will also talk about that. So it seems like most other skin tints. It doesn't seem too crazy different other than it's supposed to be kind of blurring and perfecting. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I believe 25 shades. Yeah, 25 shades, which is pretty good for a skin tint. Most skin tints come in like 6 shades because they're supposed to be sheer and, you know, all of that. I do have it on right now, obviously. So this is what it looks like in bathroom lighting, because that's where I film, is in a little setup at the back of my bathroom. So yeah, let's get into the 3-day wear test. We are in front of my bed today because there's a huge window right here and it gives a ton of natural light. And I feel like sunlight is the best way to look at a foundation on your skin because it's going to be the light that you're in most of the time. Like, you're not going to be in the bathroom all day. You're not going to be in front of studio lights. You're not going to be carrying a ring light around you just illuminating your face. Some of us might. I'm not. So, and I really want you guys to see what my skin looks like without anything but moisturizer on it. So you can really gauge the coverage level of this. So I think from now on, I'm going to try to do my foundation kind of review, first impressions, at least the application portion. Let me back up. In front of this window so you can really see. But yeah, moving right along. And if you hear any weird noises while I'm filming, I have dog 1 over here and dog 2 over here. They're loud, they're big, sorry. Anyway, shade 3. I'm really into this geometric kind of packaging. The box says light to medium coverage for all skin tones, blends and blurs, instant perfection, light as air. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and prime per usual. I have been using the Mindful 5 from Smashbox. It's okay. It says to only use 2 drops. I use 3 because I have a big face. feel like that just adds some extra hydration. I don't really feel like it blurs anything. I am going to be using my Tarte Timeless Smoothing Base as well. Just kind of through the center of my face where I feel like I have the most texture. And I'm priming like I normally would because I want to give this its best chance to look good on my skin. I don't want to be like, I'm not going to put any primer on my face, because that's just not realistic in my opinion. Because when you wear a foundation, if you use primer, you're going to use primer. You're not just going to be like, no, I'm going to slap this on. All right, so shade 3. I'm going to use, this is a MAC 170. It's just like an angled, dense kabuki brush, but it's my favorite. And it's kind of my go-to. Do I have to shake this? I guess. It's kind of my go-to when applying foundation. I love that it's a squeeze top. How do we do this? I'm just gonna drip it on my face. I don't really know. It's thicker than I thought it would be. So we're just gonna start there. Undertone wise, this is great. It might be a half shade too dark. Kind of, I'm looking in a mirror over here, but looking from like here to here, it might be a hair too dark, which is fine. I can totally make that work. I'm not worried about it. Okay, so I'm just gonna take, I don't know, 3 more drops. This is a hair too dark and a hair too yellow, I think. I lean more neutral, if anybody cares. So this side of my face has product on it. And this is just my skin. Wonder if this is buildable, because I would like to have just a tinge more coverage in here. And I have not used a lot of this, and I would say this is high light coverage right now. I don't know if that added any more coverage, maybe a little bit. I like the way it looks. This is the first time I'm putting this on, by the way. Let me do the other half of my face and I'll be right back. So here we are. It's on my face. You can see that most blemishes are still there, and you can see when I back up that it's more yellow than my neck and chest, which is fine. I've got on a crew neck shirt that's long sleeved. Nobody will tell. Most foundations are too dark for me anyway. But for some reason it doesn't want to cover like right here. It's like still very red right here. Like it doesn't want to stick to parts of my nose, which is strange. You could definitely still see my freckles, sunspots. It covered my melasma on my upper lip pretty decently, but I like the finish. It's definitely like a satin matte finish. If you're wanting something to compare it to coverage-wise, I would say it's very similar level of coverage that you get from MAC Face and Body, but more of like a satin kind of matte finish. It's not flat, but it's not super glowy either. I wouldn't necessarily say this is satin. Definitely more on the matte side. It's like flaking. And I am going to try this again like I did in my Huda Beauty video. I'm going to try this for a few days in a row with different primers and things like that, because some foundations just don't work with some primers. That's just how it is. That might just be dryness that it's actually clinging to right here, because this area on my face tends to be pretty dry. It's not really what I was expecting, I guess, because in like the promos online, everybody's skin looks so dewy and glowy, but I've got Sahara Desert skin, so, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna put the rest of my makeup on, I'll come back, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. So I got lost in watching true crime stuff on YouTube. It's who I am. But this is where we're starting. I've probably had this on for almost 2 hours at this point. It didn't take me this long to put my makeup on. I, like I said, got lost in true crime. So it is 4 o'clock. I've probably had this on since about 2:30. So this is our starting point. Everything I have on my face today will be listed down below. This is what we're looking at right now. It looks good with everything over top of it. My daughter's waking up. So here we are on the morning of day 2, trying this foundation. Today I used a Juno and Co sponge to apply it, and I used some different skincare underneath, like a serum and things like that, that I didn't use yesterday because I didn't want to, I was lazy because it was 2 o'clock. But it is now around 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and I've just got this on. I would say it's around the same level of coverage as it was yesterday. Let me get up close here. And it still doesn't want to stick like right across this area of my nose, which is strange, but you can still see these. Got a little better coverage on my chin, I think. I did use more product this time too, and it definitely is glowier. It's not matte. Today I would definitely call it satin finish, but that's because I prepped my skin completely differently as well. I think if I were to do the same skin prep I did yesterday, I'd still get that more matte finish. But yeah, so I think today I'll try and remember to check in at the end of the day. Maybe. But this is where we're starting at today. All I've got on is the Eaze Drop Skin Tint, so, yep. This is day 3 of me wearing the Skenty, I keep saying that. The Fenty Eaze Drop Skin Tint, whatever it's called. Initially, I love the way my skin looks with this, I really do, but I get creasing really quickly here, and like on top of my upper lip, which I don't typically get, which is weird. Like, I don't typically get creasing here, but I have been with this, like, just from talking. I'm not wearing a mask, nothing like that. Like, I love the way this sits on my forehead. I feel like it shows texture on my cheeks. We're gonna see how this wears. It's like 3 o'clock right now, almost 2:30. So, I mean, it's worn pretty decently the last 2 days, but it just, around my mouth, seems to be creasing really bad. And I do set with powder around my mouth, and I use a setting spray, so I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that. So, okay, so let's go down these claims one by one. Stop parting down the middle. Our first claim is that it's long wearing. Do I agree with that? Yeah, in some areas of my face, it's very long wearing. Any place on my face that doesn't move. So then let's go into that claim of being flexible. This has just creased to no end around my mouth, which is not doing it as bad today, probably because I have paired it with a more mattifying concealer today versus a dewy concealer. But typically, I don't wear that many matte products. I just don't. The last clip of me in the leopard print shirt, which is today, or earlier today, it has like disappeared from right above my lip line, like right above my lipstick. It's very strange, very odd. Like I said in that last clip, I don't typically get creasing. I'm typically very dry. And I don't know why this moves, but going back to where it says that it's made to layer with your skincare and your primer, this, I think, in my personal experience, does not like a lot of skincare underneath it. I don't know why. I don't know if I am just doing things for my skin personally to really hydrate my skin, that my skin is too hydrated when I put this on. But then I feel like if I don't put enough skincare on, this looks really matte and really dry on my skin. Like in the first clip of my initial impressions of this, I felt like by the end of the day, my skin looked very dry, very matte, like even having the Glossier Stretch Concealer over top of it, which is very dewy to the point of almost being oily, it looked dry. Like, so there's definitely a fine line, I think, between what kind of skincare and primer you put underneath this. I think if you just do like regular skincare, not a ton of hydrating, then use like a hydrating primer, that could work. Typically I use very hydrating skincare and a hydrating primer. And I don't have any problems with anything else. Like I don't have problems with the Glossier one, the Kosas one, the Morphe one. What else do I have that's more of a skin tint? The Makeup Forever Reboot foundation is more of a skin tint. I've got the Becca Dewy Skin Tint, this one as well. And the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, which I use more of like a skin tint. They're not this finicky. I find this one to be a little bit finicky. Did I even show you guys the bottle? But I find this one to be slightly finicky, and I don't know why. I feel like the second day I wore this, it looked much better. And I'm trying to figure out, remember what I put on underneath it. But today I used my regular moisturizer, but then I put sunscreen underneath it, and I feel like it doesn't want to play well with that either. I feel like here and here it's just not sitting very nicely. That being said, this has great coverage, and I think the way I have found that I like to apply it best is with a sponge, specifically this really dirty Juno & Co sponge. It seems to apply it the best, and I definitely would say light to medium coverage. You see in the first day, like my initial impressions, I use my MAC 170 brush, and that gave me very light coverage. I also used minimal product, like they suggest to use, where is it? A few drops. So that's what I did. I just used a few drops around my whole face. Very light coverage, and I think once it sets, it's not super buildable. So you need to adjust the amount you apply initially to get higher coverage, if that makes sense. Like once it's on, and I don't feel like you could build too much on top of it. Because in my initial first impression clip of this, I tried to build it, and I felt like it didn't do anything. So the second day when I used my sponge, I just applied more product initially, and that gave me medium coverage, which is what I did today. And let's see, I love that it comes in 28 shades. I think that's great for a skin tint. Normally skin tints, like I said, come in between 3 and 9 shades, and that's ridiculous because that's not an inclusive shade range, even if it is sheer coverage, because when you start getting into deeper and richer skin tones, there's a lot of variation in color, and it's either gonna look gray or orange or yellow, and it's gonna be wrong on somebody. So you need that nice broad shade range, which Fenty is great at. Finish wise, I think it's about how you prep your skin. Again, it says natural finish, which I agree with. It does look very natural on the skin before you put like all your other makeup on top of it. So if you wanted this to just put it on and get out of the house, it's really gonna look like skin. Especially if you apply it with a brush or your fingers, you're really gonna get a very natural look with it. So it's kind of half dozen one or the other. With dry skin, I feel like if I prep my skin correctly, it's gonna be fine, it's gonna look great. But if I kind of miss the mark in prepping my skin, or I try to prep my skin too quickly, it's gonna look dry. If I really prep my skin, it's gonna look kind of funky because it's gonna sit weird on my skin. I feel like I can't wear my sunscreen underneath this. So I think this is definitely a more normal combination skin. If you're oily, you might like this. Again, if you prep your skin properly. I mean, makeup is all about skin prep 90% of the time anyway. So I like it. I'm gonna use it. Will I repurchase it when it's gone? Probably not, because there are things that I like way better than this. Other than that, I will try to have everything listed on my face in day 1, 2, and 3 in the down bar, and I'll try to link some things, and I'll link this. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on the new Skinty. How many times have I said that in this video or while I'm filming? It's getting ridiculous. Fenty Blurring Skin Tint, the Eaze Drop Fenty Blurring, whatever, the Eaze Drop Skin Tint. I thank you guys so much for watching, and if you found this video helpful in making your purchase, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos from me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.